Hello, Themba.
Hello, Jason. Guile.
Jason Guile, Themba January. Welcome to another Q&A. We're sitting here in Cape Town on our day off. Themba looks like
nice to work on our day off.
Themba looks like he's just woken up.
Yes, I have indeed just woken up.
So, first question of the day: what time did you wake up?
About maybe 15 minutes ago.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I literally set my alarm. It was like, oh, okay, yeah, 1 o'clock. Okay, cool.
So yeah, just in time for the Q&A.
Just in time for the Q&A.
So, should we take the first question?
Okay, let's
social media.
Hopefully it's nothing anything right. You.
Does Themba's name change monthly?
Wow, what a question. Does Themba's name change monthly?
I'm assuming he means your surname.
Oh, my surname?
Yes.
No, hey, look, first month of the year, man. It's always there.
So
unless someone's teasing me and then it changes monthly. But my ID just states Themba January throughout the year, so.
It'd be quite annoying if you had to change your ID every month.
Bro.
How much does it cost to change the surname now?
I don't know, dude. I'd have to go into Google. Home Affairs.
Home Affairs.
Yeah.
It's a place that we generally like to avoid.
Absolutely. And imagine standing for queues and queues and queues every month.
To change your name.
To change my
name.
But
then would you have to do it preemptively? So would you have to change your name just before the month ends?
Moving along.
How do you play jazz?
How do you play jazz?
Yes. How do you play jazz?
Wow, how do you play jazz? Look, I mean, obviously you've got to learn the basics of, what music is. You got to learn your scales. You got to know your chord tones, because jazz is. A lot of people think it's random notes, but it's not just random notes. It's days and days and hours of practicing particular scales. Preferably your modes. If you check out your modes, because your modes you can superimpose over, chord tones, depending how you're approaching the chord, so. But how do you play jazz? Study, man.
I was just gonna say with great difficulty.
Yes, with great difficulty.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, it takes years, but I'm not a fundi when it comes to playing jazz. I know the basics. That keeps me going, but obviously I'd like to, learn more.
You were saying something about the whole tone scale the other day.
Yeah, no, the whole tone scale, obviously, it depends on what pianist you're checking out at the moment. I think I was having a conversation with JD and we were talking about improvisation and how Thelonious Monk. Check out Thelonious Monk. He uses the whole tone scale to its fullest. I mean,
I've got 2 questions. Perfect, subtle, wild bend tone. And 2, how to put yourself out there as a session musician and getting hired. Something practical that you can apply right away. Okay, first question. I think I can answer this because
please answer
it's a wah pedal guitar thing.
There you go.
Yes. Okay, if you want to get subtle, soft wah bend tone, you can either depending on what kind of wah pedal you have, you can normally set your cutoff frequencies. So at the bottom and at the top. So if you want just a subtle tone, you can bring them closer together. So the frequencies are closer together. And you create a subtle wah bend like that. If you don't have a wah pedal that you can set your different cut off frequencies, you can either A, throw your wah pedal away and get another one, or B, stick a piece of cardboard on either side of the pedal. So you basically create a smaller frequency spectrum like that by not allowing your pedal to go all the way down or all the way up. So I hope that answers your question. And 2, how to put yourself out there as a session musician. I've actually done a video on this and I'll post a link in the description below. But Themba, I don't know if you want to give your thoughts.
How do you put yourself out there as a session musician and getting hired? Look, it's like you said, it's all about putting yourself out there. Obviously, practice, 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 practice. And the most important thing you want to try and do as well is not play by yourself. You know what I mean? You know, I'm sure you go out there. There's gigs. There's what you call sessions happening. Jam sessions. You know, you get out there, jam sessions, jam with musos, link up with musos, network with musos, and somebody will refer you to someone. So it's all literally just about putting yourself out there and just going at it non-stop and practicing as much as you can. Because at the end of the day, the better musician gets hired.
Yes, one would hope.
One would hope.
And I said this in my other video, which I'll link to, is
Don't be a dick.
Okay, what he said.
how do you decide what to play when you are covering a song and there is more than one prominent guitar part, but you're only one person?
Jason, I think you need to tackle this.
Yeah, I just decide which part I like more and play that one.
Yeah.
Pretty much as simple as that. Because if there are more than one important guitar part, you're not going to be able to play both of them unless you're running with a backtrack. And if you're not running with a backtrack, you're just going to need to decide which one you prefer and then play that one.
Yeah, I think for me, if I'm, say for instance, I'm maybe covering the song, or I'm doing like a pub gig or whatever, and I've literally just got the piano with me, I choose what's very iconic. The iconic melodies obviously got to come out of the song, like what people recognize the most, and that always seems to work for some strange reason. And obviously, you know, you sing and you play what's...
But then, wouldn't that be the prominent part?
That would be the prominent
Yeah,
part.
because if there's more than one
Yeah.
of those parts.
Yes.
Let's say you've got a melody and a counter melody, but they are equally as important to each other. Which one do you pick?
I pick the one that is, because, you know, if say for instance I'm playing like a John Legend song or whatever, and maybe there are counter melodies happening, but the ear picks up what's the easiest to almost hum to.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's what you incorporate into whatever you play at that moment, because that's what people, it's almost like a subconscious thing. Like they pick up the easiest thing and they hum along to the song, but they're humming along to a specific part of the song.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, I think your ear is just naturally biased to the most simple
Yeah.
part, if you will.
Yeah, man. Simpler is always better,
Yeah.
I think.
Occam's razor.
Yeah.
Yes. The simplest solution is generally the best one.
Generally the best one. And the one that people are most likely to recognize.
So the answer to the question is Occam's razor.
Okay. Don't know what that is.
So you used it. You know.
Occam's razor.
Does your grit in your vocals come naturally, or do you force it because you have an amazing rock voice? I don't know who that's directed to. I don't know if it's directed to me or you, because you're an incredible rock singer. So does the grit in your voice come naturally, or do you force it?
Does it come naturally? For me, look, prior to singing rock music, you know, I've always been, I was always a jazz cat, you know. So I'd always go for the more, you know, smoother tone. But that being said, my tone is genuinely very thick. So I think it would be easier for me to employ a grit to my voice.
But do you force it, or does it come naturally?
Do I force it? I don't think I force. I think I. You know, because okay, for instance, if I'm saying, "Baby, I love you," that's me approaching it just from like my simple relaxed. Baby, I love you. I don't know. It's there.
It's natural. It's a natural.
It's
thing.
natural. Let's just decide. I just decide what I want to use at that time. So it's a mental thing. I think I've trained my voice to do that. Yeah.
I've always struggled to sing clean.
Yeah.
Like I'm singing Foreigners. I know what I'm singing Foreigners. I want to know what love is in this show, And I struggled with it, especially for the first month, because I can't sing up there without getting some sort of grit in my voice. And you've almost got to like force there not to be grit, if that makes any sense.
So it's the
exact opposite.
the opposite of what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I struggle to control it like that. I can belt and I can shout and I can scream and I can do rock stuff, and I've always done rock stuff, so I suppose maybe it's just that's why it comes naturally. But as soon as I've got to get up there and sing clean, I've got no control of like over my pitch and things like that. So yeah, struggle.
Yeah, man. You know that well, when I wake up in the morning. What song is that again?
Midnight Special.
Midnight Special, yes. Midnight Special. Like the intro to that, I keep it very clean. Like it's clean, it's smooth, and generally when I'm up there, you know, when I hit the higher notes, my voice almost thins out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But when I'm in my mid-range, I can kind of get more gritty with it.
I wouldn't say your voice thins out, because I mean, I spent a bit of time with you in the studio recently. I find that you it does become a lot sharper.
Sharper, yes.
But it doesn't necessarily get thin.
For lack of a
lack of a better word.
yeah.
Yes. Anyway, yeah, hope that answers your question.
I hope so.
Yay. Natural grit. Force
Natural
the grit.
grit.
Don't force the grit.
Don't force the grit, because you can hurt yourself.
Yes.
If you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, he wins. Just get him to laugh.
Who's it? Who's it? Not Gunston. I'll Gunston my baby. No. I need you around for me to laugh.
Well, miss you, Jared.
Miss you, bruh.
you. Does pineapple go on pizza? I'm sure we've answered this many times in different Q&As, but yes.
Is this like a secret code for something, or is it like literally does pineapple go on pizza?
It literally does pineapple go on pizza.
Of course it does, man.
Yeah. You can
Why wouldn't it?
We answered this with Jadine's Q&A. We were just saying that you could have a pizza with only pineapple, no cheese.
I don't know about that.
So do you need cheese? Is cheese a...
No, you gotta have cheese, man.
I suppose cheese is a primary ingredient.
It's like the primary, that's the reason why you eat it. So when you know, get the piece out, you want to see that there's no word for it, but you know, that cheese has to like...
The is better with pineapple. Is it better with pineapple, or does it just go?
It goes, but I wouldn't, like personally, I wouldn't, you know, it's like, I guess if you're going for that sweet and sour, you know, but for me, it's just gotta be meat on pizza.
No, funny enough, I don't like meat on pizza.
Oh, I've gotta have that carnivore, man.
You gotta have the carnivore. I eat meat, but I don't like meat.
Pops, I'm black. I gotta have meat.
So it's gonna be fried chicken on pizza.
So it's either chicken or it's an entire piece of steak on a pizza.
Yeah, so the answer to the question is yes, it does.
Yes, it does go on pizza, but it doesn't necessarily have to.
Yes. This is where we differ.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it does. I will always have pizza with pineapple. But I'm very much a routine kind of guy. Like if I like one thing, I will like that one thing forever, and I'll always order it. So pizza for me will always have feta, olive, pineapple, and chili. Always.
Well, I can eat anything, but as long as it's not too sweet and sour, then I'm good.
Cool. So
pineapple does go on pizza.
yeah, pineapple. Why do skinny guys always have the big voices and the big fat ones, the squeaky voices? I have examples if you need.
Oh my goodness. I'm trying to wrap my head around this question.
I wouldn't say always. Would you say that Luciano Pavarotti had a squeaky voice? Well,
Yeah. I don't know if that's squeaky.
no, I wouldn't call that squeaky.
No, I wouldn't call that squeaky either.
And would you say that Barry White had a squeaky voice?
No. No, definitely not. He was down here. I don't know. I always get this question. Like people always say, "Brian, you're so tiny, but you've got this massive voice." It's just what I have, I guess. And you know, there's certain things that I would love to be able to do with my voice that I can't, because I don't believe in limitations, but there is a limit to what you can do with your voice. Like for instance, the whole rave thing, you know. I can't do that. But I've got a very cool tone, and I can keep a very nice vibrato going. And
Show us.
Show you.
Show us something of vibrato.
Well, stop it, man. My voice is too. It's too. It still has to wake up. But maybe something like when I'm talking about tone, for me, it's almost got to feel like you're sitting on a cushion. You know that. You see, I'm still.
Oh, it's that smooth vibrato.
It's like that smooth.
Themba, I love you.
Oh no, please, no bras, no panties.
For mine, if you want.
I don't know if that answers that question, but
I think it does.
that's it.
But no, I don't think it does at all, actually.
No.
But it's a good example.
Basically, yeah. So certain people just have a certain voice.
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
just the
and
way.
a certain tone, and it's just how it is.
There's nothing you can do about it.
You know?
Do you ever use Lydian flat 7 to superimpose secondary dominance over normal blues progressions, or would you prefer to use it over altered chords? I don't prefer to use it at all, but I do get why people would want to, because the sharp fourth with the flat 7 sounds really awesome. And here's an example of a Lydian flat 7 scale. I will say that the Lydian and mixed Lydian scales are two of my favorite scales to use over an improv section. I don't think I have ever used them intentionally together, which is basically what the Lydian flat 7 is. It's a mixed Lydian and Lydian scale combined.
Yep.
Yeah. So I hope that answers your question. No, I've never used it for a basic blues progression or over altered chords, purely because I don't think that my theory knowledge is as good as it should be, and I don't think I'd trust myself to do it without completely screwing it up.
Yeah.
So,
Practice.
Exactly. Practice. But again, practice stuff that you need to use. I don't feel like I've ever needed to use that, but if I did need to, I would practice it, and hopefully one day when I'm big, I'll be able to use it efficiently. Which brings me to my next question. How important is it to learn the harmony of the melodic minor? I don't think it's important, but I think it's incredibly useful.
Yeah. I think, look, as a vocalist, I haven't practiced in years, like my scales and stuff like that. But if, say, for instance, you know, you've got a chord which would, you know, if you're improving, if I'm doing like a vocal improv, obviously what guides me is what's happening in the chord. So if, say, for instance, a chord would need that, that harmony of the melodic minor, I could do it without thinking
the
about
harmony ascending or descending, because that's the thing with the melodic minor, that going up
it's different from going down.
So
Yeah.
you've got the sharp 6 and the sharp 7 going up, and then
Yeah.
you've got the natural 6 and natural 7, which
Going
basically
down.
becomes a natural minor coming down.
So, but like I say, you know, learn what you were saying. Actually, learn what you need to learn, and you know, if it works, it works.
It is impossible to know everything.
Yeah.
It's just physically impossible. There is no way that one person in one lifetime could possibly know everything there is to know about music theory.
So use what you can, man.
IEM or wedges? I prefer wedges. Personally, I've tried IEMs. I used them for about a year and a half or so. I could never get used to them. I felt too isolated. I even tried setting up microphones in the venue to try get some of that ambience, but it just never felt the same. And
I know I'm probably doing more damage to my ears by using wedges, but it just feels better. So if I damage my ears, then I'll have to rethink it. But at the moment, I've got pretty good hearing. I don't feel like anything's missing. So far so good.
Yeah. I've never used in-ear monitoring.
Okay.
I don't think I would. Because I feel like I will lose, like you said, it's that, I feel that, look, unless I give it a try one day, which I probably will, but I don't know, I feel like I just feel a bit isolated and I can't see what's happening or hear what's happening. But for me, I just want that, like that real time, that sound, you know?
Yes.
In that moment, that's what I have to hear. So if I'm seeing the pianist and he's doing something, I just want to hear him. I want to hear the other vocalists, you know, without sounding too isolated from everyone. I want to feel a part of what's happening.
I feel like even if you get a great mix in your IEMs, you still don't have that connection to the audience.
Yeah.
That you and also if you were saying about you want to hear what the piano player is doing, and even if you've got a mix of the piano player. As a singer, if you walk up to the piano player, you want to start hearing that piano become gradually louder.
Louder, exactly.
Which you won't with the IEMs, so everything will remain constant. And I know that's what a lot of people want. It's just not something that I would want.
No, it's not what I would. Look, I think you know, I can hear the key well enough to know where I am. You know, in the music. So, and I think a lot of the times people use IEMs to maybe just to try and, you know, start on the right key or something like that. But I don't know, I've just always liked, you know, hearing, you know, like being surrounded by the music.
Another thing that I've noticed with singers that do use IEMs, I'm not saying all singers, but a lot of singers that I've worked with, is that they tend to undersing. So because they can hear themselves so well, they tend to just sing a lot softer, and the tone of their voice doesn't come out. You need to be giving a bit of horns there to get your full tonality of your voice or something.
Yeah.
Yes.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Cool. What is the equation you use to derive the minimum amount of money you need to play Justin Bieber's music?
Where's this question going? Like, what are you saying? Are you saying?
Lots. I'm gonna just say my equation is you pay me money and lots of money, otherwise you can f*** off.
Man, I don't know. I just, you know what? For me, I think music is music, and I know Justin Bieber gets a lot of flack for being Justin Bieber, you know. But recently he's like released some really, really good stuff, which I've enjoyed. More on the dancier house, upbeat kind of thing. Like I actually enjoy singing some of his stuff.
What do you mean?
Exactly. You know, so look, man, just as long as I'm getting paid.
Yeah, lots.
Yeah.
Lots of money.
As long as I'm getting paid.
And it's too late now to say sorry.
Yeah. It's too late now to say sorry.
Unless you pay me lots of your money.
Oh, nice one.
Like a Themba, great to have you on.
No, thanks, bro. Thank you for having me on,
It's a pleasure. Anything you want to add?
No, man. I was a bit nervous about this session, but it's been pretty chill. I don't know if I'm popular enough for you to have me on your show, but thank you for having me.
That's
regardless.
A pleasure.
Yeah. And,
well, the channel is called the Working Class Muso, so I like to have guys on that are working class musicians. I mean, not guys that are super famous. Be great.
Be great.
but kind of people that are in the same boat as me. You know, we do this for a living, and we make enough to get by.
Chill.
We do okay.
Chill. Yeah.
Yeah. But we're not super famous.
I'm not super famous, but hopefully one day.
Yeah, the dream, man.
The dream. No, we all want the dream. But dude, thanks for having me, man.
Pleasure. Like a Themba.
Yeah, bro.
Sweet.
See you tomorrow night at work.
Yay.
Cheers.
Bye. Don't forget to subscribe.